I just first want to congratulate Kansas State for their year. Coach Hughes had a really great ball club, really good pitching, a dynamic offense. I'm convinced that the way he leads their program, that their day and opportunity will come, because I know how great of a coach he is, and just want to congratulate them on a great season. Just really extremely proud of our team, our young men. Not so much for the super regional victory and going to Omaha for our 7th time, and I think somebody told me 3 out of the last 4 years, and that's a very small company that has done that. I just want to, I'm so proud of them. They played their best baseball the last 2 weekends. Certainly we've got more to do in front of us. We're going to enjoy today and tonight, and then regroup tomorrow and get ready for our plan of what we need to do in Omaha to keep this thing going. But the thing I want to speak about is just their 2 things. First, their poise. It's really impressive when you got a group of 18 to 23-year-olds that are playing at home. They can handle the moment and what the game brings them. There is pressure when you play at home, when you are a number 1 seed, because everybody believes that you should win, but we respect and understand how hard it is to win this time of the year and what it takes. And then on top of their poise, they're incredibly relentless. The come from behind wins. I believe 15 of our 17 runs over these 2 games are scored in the back half of the game, and I believe 15 of those 17 runs are scored with 2 outs. And, just to see somebody like Jacob Ferentz step up there, who had a tough day at the plate and drove that ball to the right center gap to extend our lead. Luke Hansen with the big double down the left field line with bases loaded. Jay Woolfolk, who I'm sure he would tell you he didn't have his best stuff today, but he grinded it out and kept his team in the ball game and did everything that he could possibly do. And, right on down the line, there's so many examples. Ethan Anderson didn't have a hit and then came up his last at bat and got a big hit. And just so many moments today and over the last 2 weeks that, as the leader of the program, you're just so proud of them and what they stand for and who they are as young men. And that's the biggest thing I'm proud of this program. We've got excellent young men that represent this uniform the right way, and they're tigers. They're just completely relentless with everything that they do, and it just makes you so proud as a coach. And I won't be able to get the smile off my face that they have the opportunity to go back to Omaha, and I'm very, very confident that we'll be ready to play whenever they tell us to play, and believe that we'll have a deeper run than we did last year.
Jay, does this moment mean any more to you, just given kind of where you were as a pitcher this season, not going forward?
Yeah, it definitely means a little more, knowing that, again, I haven't had the greatest start of the year. But, talks with Coach Oak, and he's always told me, it's not how you start a year, it's how you finish it. And just going out there, these past 2 weekends, helping the team as best as I can, be in the position, I didn't have my best stuff today, but, just battling through it all and knowing that your offense is going to score, that's the easiest way to pitch, honestly. Everybody knows we have a, top 5 offense in the country, and, when they can score at will, and you saw it today, you pitch a little more comfortable, and, like you said, it does feel a little better knowing that, going back to Omaha. And so.
Griff, Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. You heard Coach say how many appearances in Omaha in 3 of the last 4 years, but every year I know it's a new journey. How hard is it to get to this point?
Yeah, I think it's extremely difficult. Going 3 of the last 4 years is not normal, and I think it's important for us to kind of realize that as a team and just appreciate the work that we've done this year. You're right. Every journey is a little different. This season had a lot more twists and turns, I would say, than maybe our trip last year, and a lot more, comeback wins, a lot more just kind of weird games. So I think we've been put to a lot of challenges throughout the season, which as a whole, I think the season was definitely a different path for us. But kind of seeing how the whole team kind of came together at the right time, right when the playoffs started, I think everyone knew that we had been put in the position by the coaches and just the team as a whole to play our best ball right now. And so I think we just kind of used that as a part of confidence and kind of took that as a challenge to make sure that we were ready to go from game one of the playoffs. And, I think you kind of saw that this weekend as well, playing against a great team in K-State. But I think everyone was pretty locked in from pitch one yesterday.
Kansas State would score right after you guys scored. What was the approach as an offense, especially going in that ninth inning, knowing you could use some runs to break the thing open?
Yeah, I think the main thing for us is not trying to press, not trying to do too much. We have the talent to score at any time in any point of the lineup. I think when we get in trouble, it's when we try and do too much and kind of come out of like the simplicity of our approach. So just kind of sticking to what we were trying to do and just kind of letting the fact that we knew we were a talented offense and being very clear on what we were trying to do at the plate. We just tried to let that take over. They kept throwing out really good arms, their starter, and then Neighbors came in and looked really good. So just kind of adjusting to the different stuff that they were bringing out, but not trying to overthink it was the best thing for us.
Yeah, Griff, you mentioned the challenges and the twists and the turns earlier. Even today, I believe at least 7 of your runs came with 2 outs. And obviously, we talk about the comebacks that you've had all season. But if it wasn't for those challenges, this team hadn't come back in so many different ways. Is that part of the secret to y'all's success and why you're sitting here today?
Yeah, 100%. I think we kind of talked about it early in the year. We've had comeback wins from day one. Down in the Jacksonville tournament, we came back in I think 2 out of the 3 of those. So like I said, I think that we've had a lot more of those this year than last year, which take that for what it's worth. But I think it's kind of just put us in a position to kind of understand how to do it. And obviously, you saw that today. Just kind of trusting the guys around us and letting the fact that we lean on each other, give us an opportunity to come back.
Both Griff and Jay, y'all grew up kind of playing baseball around each other in this state. First, what's it like sitting up here on this podium for the second straight week next to each other, coming off another super regional win? And then also, what do you remember about this program growing up, and now to see that consistency all these years later going back to Omaha?
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. I came to these games when I was a kid, growing up. So I used to come to UVA basketball, football, baseball, but I would come to at least two baseball games a year. So kind of being able to play in a filled out dish this weekend was pretty surreal. I got to do it last year, but it was just as cool this year. Definitely nothing. It's not something I take for granted, just because. Growing up, I was one of those kids down the line, screaming for balls and asking for signatures. So just getting the opportunity to kind of do the same for the generation coming up, and just seeing kind of the state of Virginia rally around us, it's been really cool. Social media, just how many texts and stuff that I've been getting, people I don't even know, just saying how proud they are of this team. It's been pretty cool.
This will be the second time in program history that the team has gone to Omaha in back-to-back years. The first time it worked out pretty well. What does the familiarity that the veterans on this team gained last year, how do you think that will help you this year?
Yeah, I think it'll help tremendously. We have a lot of returners on this team that got to go to Omaha last year, and I think the first time you're there, it's you're kind of there, and it's a whole experience, and you don't really know what to look for, and there's a lot going on. And obviously, we're gonna enjoy it just as much this year, but I think we're going into it with more of a demeanor of we're going to do some damage rather than just kind of go there for just to be there. So just kind of having that edge of just having been there before, kind of knowing what it takes to win games there. I mean, 2 one-run losses last year definitely left a bad taste in our mouth. So just kind of having that in the back of our minds, knowing what we need to do, is definitely a benefit for us.
Yeah, Kip Coons, press box to you, Jay. Kind of a two-part thing. Your emotions when you were told you were going to start today's game earlier in the week, and also how much does it last weekend and this weekend affirm your decision last summer that yes, baseball full-time, football's been fun, but
Yeah, emotions stayed the same. I never want to get too high, about a situation or too low about a situation. I think I give that thanks to Coach Oak. They just, they put you in situations and, they expect you to, come out on top of that situation. Like I said, all year we've been put into situations, and it's not like, a surprise. I think Coach Oak expects us to get out those situations. That's why he puts us in those situations. But, I remember like last summer I was talking to Griff when we went to USA together, and I remember I was just asking him like, I was like, should I do it? I asked him like, should I give it a sport up? And Griff kind of just looked at me like,
I don't want to make the wrong decision for him.
But at this sitting here right now, I'm glad I made that decision. I think it was the right decision. Kind of made that decision off of having no regrets for it. So I guess y'all can say like this is the right decision, and standing here right now. So.
Yeah, Jay, when did you start to feel like you were settling in to today's outing? I got you in the first inning a little bit. When did you feel like you started to settle in? And I guess how did trying to control the running game play into that?
Yeah, I guess probably after like the first 0 that we put up, just that's probably when I felt, the first 2 innings was a little shaky, but that's the preparation that coaches put us through. Even though you don't have your best stuff, you still got to go out there and perform because these guys are counting on you. Like I said, our offense is so good. Putting up 1 run, that's kind of like nothing to our offense. So, I'm sorry, I kind of forgot the second question you asked.
Controlling the running game.
Oh.
Big caught stealing in the 7th inning. How much was that on your mind throughout the game?
Oh yeah, I mean, they're a really good running team. I think their leadoff hitter had 38 bags on the year or something like that, and their their 2-hole hitter had almost as like 20. So I mean, they're trying to get on and trying to run, but with an arm like Jacob's back there, you kind of have a little confidence. You just got to give him a chance back there. So I just had to be quick, honestly.
Coach has been talking recently about the caliber of players that are coming into this program and that have continued to come into this program since he's been here. And you've got a lot of new guys like Behrens and like Becker and Ford who did a lot of great things even today. As you guys help them prepare for what's coming, what's your approach with them, and how do you handle that discussion as they prepare for Omaha?
Yeah, some of the freshmen you named, I've been pretty impressed with how they've handled themselves the whole year. They don't act like freshmen. They are very confident, and they don't shy away from really anything. So I don't have to do too much to get them ready to go. I'm sure, I've been helping them throughout the year, just random questions they've asked me, and I'm sure we'll talk about Omaha a little bit. And, I'm just like we talked about before, we've been lucky enough to be there before. So I'm going to try and, prep them with just kind of what to expect and what we need to do to come out of it. I think that's just kind of the benefit of getting to go twice. And, so I think they're ready to go, especially in that environment. I think, if anything, it'll just help that we've been there and we can help them out in any way.
Yeah, Jay, just when you recruited here, just kind of the expectations about Omaha versus hearing about it and actually living it out and playing through it every day.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I went in high school and middle school. I've never been to a UVA baseball game at all, nor a football game. But I guess talking to Coach Oak over the phone, you kind of like got the experience just by that. Doesn't tell you any lies. He doesn't tell you anything. He just wants you to come here and work hard. And you can see over the years past how many times they went to Omaha and everything, and even Super. Like I don't think people understand, like, getting to a regional is hard. That's having to win the season hard. And college baseball was just hard. So he kind of obviously you can see he put this program together, and I'm blessed to be coached by him. So that's that's the biggest thing.
Thanks, guys. You can stick around or you can head back. Take questions.
Brian, after the two coaching staffs shook hands near home plate, as you walked over, you kind of turned in every direction and took in the stadium. What was going through your mind?
Just extremely proud. You have to have great players that are team first players, that are passionate and care about this baseball program. But it takes so much more than that, right? You have to have that. That's a given. But, just looking around at the people that, whether it's an elderly couple that comes to every game, even the games in February, and are so into what these guys do, or people in the luxury suites that made our expansion happen, or, I'll never forget our current rector of the university. When I was named the coach 21 years ago, Robert Hardy was the first person to take me to dinner 21 years ago. And seeing him up there and so proud of what's been accomplished in this program, so many of them, seeing Rich Booth and Phil Wendell and right on down the line of people that believed in what could be accomplished here, and and then just all the overflowing amount of fans and kids that just love being a part of this. And it's a special opportunity when you get to host, just because it's as great as it is for these guys and the coaches. It's just as great for our fan base and everybody that's so passionate about it. And this won't stop. We'll continue to build. I've made it a priority that we can't stay where we're at. Like, college baseball is very, very competitive for players, facilities, and everything that it takes to be successful. And we'll keep pushing this thing forward as the years go on.
Brian, Mike Barr, Richmond Times-Dispatch. You said you'll have a smile on your face because these guys are going to Omaha. You've done so much in your career. Is there pressure each year on you to help this group, your new group, get to Omaha, to make sure those kids get that experience?
The pressure is not to get to Omaha. I can tell you that. We talk very little about it, candidly. The pressure is putting them in situations and preparing them from the first day that they arrive here, and how we talk to them as coaches and the standards that we hold them to. That's what this is about. And I just really believe if you got great young men that care about each other and care about what uniform they're wearing, and you talk to them the right way every day, that sinks in from day to day, and it prepares them for the opportunities that they have. And that's a big reason why they end up having success at the end of the year. And so, this weekend, the result of is they get an opportunity to continue to compete for a national championship. I've got this photo here of Jay. All right. This is June 30th, 2021, and this is when Jay reported it as an incoming first year for football. And I had him come up to the office and put a jersey on, and that's when it starts, right? How you talk to them and words matter. Didn't know for sure whether he'd ever be in this moment or not, but all those little things matter, and they all add up. And just really proud of him, proud of Griff, proud of all the guys.
Coach Amber Coleman, CBS 19 Sports. You've been very vocal about your love of challenges, whether this year was with pitching or however many comeback wins you guys had. Did you see that love for the challenge, the difficulty, maybe embraced by your players, and if so, how did that help you guys land here today?
100%. They embraced it. You're right. They're really bright guys. You can't get anything over them, right? And so that's why I just believe in giving them the honest truth all the time and telling them what it takes and continue to remind them, and the difficult days of the lessons and pushing through it because they all add up, all those opportunities, and just just thankful for the young men that we have that represent this great institution, and just really so proud.
Yeah, Coach, 7 trips in 21 years. Just what does that number mean? And also to do it the fashion that y'all did it this year, how hard is that to go 5-0?
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to be perfect, to go 5-0. It doesn't. You see it with regionals and super regionals all over the country because the other team in the other dugout's really, really good, and so you have to be on the mark, like we were today. And just to think about it, our first trip was 2009, and the fact that we went 7 times speaks to these guys and their belief in what is done here every day. And just I remember taking this job 21 years ago and really believed that it could be a special program, but it's there were some barriers that needed to be knocked down. Everybody after the first 4 years, everybody was saying, well, geez, how come they can't win a regional? And it takes time, it takes experience, it takes having the opportunity and learning from it. And candidly, I was the one that needed to learn the most. I was a raving lunatic the first 4 years and out of control a lot. And I figured out that they're going to partly take on the personality of leadership, and made some changes and some things that I think a couple of them helped us and continue to get the opportunity every year. And fortunately in 2009, we were able to punch through and have learned a lot in the 6 trips that we've had there, and we'll put those things into motion to give ourselves the best chance to compete for a national championship.
Yeah, your first 2 runs came with 2 outs. The Henry Ford's big hit came with 2 outs. You broke the game open in the 9th with 2 outs. How has the approach, the 2-out approach to the plate, formulated all year worked for you guys?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we have scored a ton of runs with 2 outs this year. 2 outs, nobody on, and that's what I spoke about earlier, the relentlessness of this team. I think it's the absolute best word to describe this team. They just don't stop, and they believe in each other, and they believe that they can do anything, and what a great quality to have. And I wouldn't say it's anything special that we do offensively. When you do what we do with 2 outs, that speaks to the fiber of who they are as men, and they're just not going to give anything away. And that'll help them the rest of this year, and it'll help them candidly for the rest of their lives.
Ryan, what did Ferentz and Whalen bring to the program this year? And
Yeah.
when Bobby went over the fence, were you worried he wasn't coming back?
Yeah, I was hoping Bobby would come back. Those 2 guys have obviously really quickly in the fall got woven into what our program is about and how we play, and that was identified in the recruiting process with conversations with them. And then you got guys like these 2 guys and how they share with them pretty quickly about what the standards are and how we go about our business. And Whalen and Ferentz and other guys that their first year for us, they figure it out pretty quickly. And you know, I one of our rules in this program is that we don't treat a first year or a new player in our program any differently. They're a member of this team, and we have 38 of them, and we're going to need everybody. And those two guys have certainly had tremendous years for us.
Yeah, Brian, last night you talked to us about little things being important in almost unnoticed at the moment, but goes on to be meaningful. Seventh inning, Jacob throwing out the base stealer, I believe the next hitter double.
Yeah.
Just the ability for Jay first to hold it close, and then Jacob probably mid-20s% throwing out base stealers.
Yeah. Yeah, it is the little things we talk about in our program a lot, and it's those moments at this time of the year. It's those moments. It might be that stolen base where you throw somebody out. It might be that great play. It might be that dirt ball read that Henry Ford had early in the game. It might be that one key clutch pitch. That's what separates teams at this time, because everybody's got talent. Everybody's got really good arms. It's the moments. I talked to the players 2 weeks ago about, you know, this concept of one step, you know, that one step might make the difference in you making the play, or that dirt ball read or whatever it is. And that's what's crucial this time of the year is a collection of all those little moments that happen in a game, and they either look forward to them or they shy away from them. And I can tell you our guys look forward to them, and they run to those kind of opportunities and want to be in the batter's box or be at shortstop or be on the mound when it matters most.
Yeah, Brian, you got through the regional and super regional using only 3 relievers, Tonis, Hungate, and Augustine. How did those guys raise their level of performance in this postseason?
Yeah, well, I'll first say Chase Hungate has done the job for our team all year long. He's been amazing. He's had a heck of a year. Angelo Tonis has to be one of the appearance leaders in Division I college baseball, and he's been very, very consistent. And Matt Augustine has elevated himself. He, you know, I'll never forget Game 3 at Miami, where we just, you know, felt like we couldn't put him away and nobody could stop it. And he went out there and stopped it, and he showed me something that day. And he's got really good stuff and has a bright future. And we have a tremendous amount of accomplishment, or tremendous amount of confidence in what he does. And hey, I would have loved to have gotten more guys out there, because we've got a lot of guys that Aiden Teal didn't pitch in the regional or super regional, and that wasn't intentional, but it's just the situation never arose. We got a lot of guys, Blake Barker, a lot of guys hot down there and loose at different times, but you know, you have to manage with your gut and go with what you feel is the right thing to do. And all 3 of those guys were outstanding. I think the home run Tonis gave up, I think it was the only run we gave up, out of the bullpen. And just, listen, I know all year that the expectations of what our program should do are extremely high, and that's fine, and I know, people might have been down on our pitching, but I knew what they're made of, and I knew their stuff is good enough, and that it would come back around. And Jay's a perfect example of that.
Okay, last question, Chris. There's been a lot of talk about hitting home runs all season.
Yeah.
It seemed like Kansas State wasn't going to give you too much that you could
Right.
get out of the park. And you said last night you guys made an adjustment at the plate. You kind of talk about how your guys got the positions when they couldn't hit it out.
Yeah, well, obviously their left-handed starter last night did a really terrific job keeping off balance. He was tough to square up, and fortunately we did enough in the middle of the game to chase him out of there and score some runs off their bullpen. But you look at the home runs that we've hit this year. They're going to make some tough pitches. They're going to throw some 3-1 sliders, and they were pretty unpredictable. as a pitching staff. And so when you're unpredictable, it's a little bit more difficult and challenging. And they've got good arms. Listen, the neighbor's kid that came in and threw a couple of innings, I mean, that guy's one of the top relievers in college baseball, and he's a pretty talented young man. And, our guys' approach was just to grind it out. I thought Ford was going to hit that 3-0 pitch out. When I saw his swing, it reminded me of when he hit the 96-mile-an-hour fastball out of the ballpark against North Carolina's reliever, and I thought he got it, and he's just a little bit underneath it. But our approach will stay the same, and it comes down to it takes what it takes. Okay. There's a great book out there by a guy by the name of Trevor Morad that has since passed away. The foreword in the book was written by Russell Wilson, and I just really believe in the concept that, you might not hit home runs, but it's whatever it takes that's what it takes. And this weekend it was great pitching, and the last 2 weekends great pitching, great defense, and timely hitting, and guys picking each other up and just doing enough.